tell us about Masterstepz, the journey, where he started. When did you realise that you was finally at the top of the echelons of in the music business in your genre? Because we'd like to know the genre of music that you play as well, and the music that you produce.
Well, it started. It started from a very, very young age. You know, for people that don't know, you know, me and you we're family, and your dad had a sound system back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And when I was a young kid, I always used to go around Uncle Biggs's house and see the sound system in the spare room. And I was so mesmerized. I was so intrigued by, you know, the sound system culture that the elders used to do. They used to have a mobile sound system that they carried out. They took into blues dances. They took it to excursions. And I used to just watch and see the guys set up the sound system, take out the speaker box, take out the turntable, take out the wires for the amplifiers and the amplifiers itself and the preamps and everything. And I was just so mesmerized and so intrigued by how someone could put a mobile sound system together with huge 18-inch speakers with tweeters and mid-range, and put it together and make it sound so loud in a nightclub. So from a young age, I was always interested in doing music. I always wanted to be that person. And then I just followed that dream. And then watching yourself be a DJ. And it wasn't just like you was playing reggae music. You was a person, Stamina, that was into all different genres of music, which opened my eyes into saying, okay, I don't have to just be into reggae music or ska music. And when when the 70s and 80s came, and then the soul funk came out, and then you was playing a lot of soul music at the time, and I was like, this guy, my older, is he's a genius. He knows all the music, he knows all the artists, he knows what's going on, and I think that I wanted to follow you in your footsteps in becoming a young DJ. So when I went to school now, because I was born in North London, I was born in Highbury, but when I was 2 years old, my mum moved to East London. That's the only place where she could get a flat at the time. So we moved to East London, and there wasn't a massive black culture in that part of East London, which was popular. So all the black Caribbeans and Africans were more in Tottenham, Finsbury Park, Hackney. Where I was, there wasn't a lot of black culture there. But there was a few of us, and the black people that was in the area, we kind of stuck together. So we used to do like youth club events, and I actually remember putting on a school disco. I asked the teachers, like, look, can I DJ at the school disco? And they allowed me to DJ at the school disco. And from there, I kind of like learned my trade, learned how to play music to people, learned how people would react to music, certain songs that you play at a certain time. So I kind of grew up learning that from yourself, watching you play at the parties and watching, obviously, Sir Biggs play the sound system back then. So I just took all of that information and brought it into my own community in East London and just learned my trade from there. And then later on in life, when I became the age of 16, 17 years old, I went to a college, and I was learning to do music management. So I wanted to understand the business side of music, not just like playing in a club. I just wanted to understand how publishing worked. I wanted to understand how the management side worked. So I studied that. I did that for 2 years, got my qualifications for doing that. And then I came out of there learning music technology. So learning how to make music, how to produce music. So from there, that's when I was like 17, 18 years old. And that's where it really kickstarted for me, when I started producing music. Because it's quite hard as a DJ to get into the music industry, to get into the club industry. It was very, very hard because there were so many DJs around at the time. And I was young, so a lot of the older generations maybe didn't see my potential. A few did, like...
I did. I certainly did. You got me emotionally. I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes. It's just that you can't see it. But continue, please continue.
And one of the DJs that was really supportive, and I was really young at the time, was a DJ called Wild Dubbug.
Dubbug?
Yes, Wild Dubbug. And he was on the pirate station at the time. This is when the music industry in the communities was really kicking off. We had all-dayers. So when people are talking about festivals, now like Wireless, Lovebox, We Are Festivals, we were doing festivals back in the days for free. We used to go to Clissold Park and have an all-dayer for free. We used to go to Hackney Downs for free. We used to go to all these places in and around London town. We used to go to over Brixton, Brockwell Park, and these were festivals, all-dayers that we used to have for free. So this is when Wild Dubbug was on the pirate radio station at the time, and he was firing. And he kind of took me under his wing, and he taught me about pirate radio station. He taught me about how to DJ in clubs and how to talk on the mic. So he was one of my inspirations, and he's the one that taught me a lot back in the days. And then when I used to listen to you on the pirate radio station back in the days, I used to listen to you like on a regular basis and listen to how Stamina, because was your name Stamina at the time? Am I allowed to say
No, it was Funky C.
Funky C. Funky C. And I said, like, me and my brother Paul, I was like, bro, Funky C's on the radio, Funky C's on the radio. And I used to listen to you all the time, and I was like, I really want to, because when I was young, I didn't understand pirate. I didn't understand a pirate was a pirate. I just thought it was a station. I didn't know it was illegal. I didn't understand it because I was just so young.
Yeah.
But just fast forward and going forward to like where you was one of the pinnacle guys that I was listening to growing up and learning from you and Wild Dubbug. So from that, I like I said, I started to produce music. And that's when the sound changed. People started to listening to different kinds of music now. Like there was a lot of house music out. There was acid house that was big thing at the time. There was a lot of jungle that was big at the time. And so I kind of got involved with the jungle, and I really liked jungle music because it was a lot of producers that were sampling reggae Jamaican artists. And I got into the jungle music at the time, but I was never a person that could get into that scene because it was already filled with so much great DJs and MCs and producers. So there was no way that me with my little young self would get into that scene. So when I used to go to the jungle raves, seminar, there will be like the main arena, and then there will be a second arena and a third arena. And the second arena and the third arena would have house music in it. And sometimes when I was tired and my foot had bond me throughout the night of raving to jungle, I would go into the second arena and just sit down and listen to some of the music that was playing. And the music was so calmer compared to like the jungle. The jungle was like 1.7 BPM. So the music was like really, really fast, and like it was like the same tempo throughout the whole night. It's not like back like when we were doing like the reggae music or the soul music, the tempo was always changing. You can just like have a nice little soul slow jam, or you could like have a nice little up tempo dancehall record. Jungle was just one tempo, 178, and it was continuously fast. So you had to have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So sometimes I was like, boy, by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'm tired, and I would go into the second arena and listen to some of the house music. Yeah. And it was really soulful at the time, and I used to listen to some of the vocals that was on the house music, and I was like, this is really, really good music. I said, well, you know what? Let me just like go home and start like studying some of the house music, what these DJs are playing in Arena 2. And I started to listen to it, and one of my friends was already working in a record shop, and he was already playing some of those music. So I went to his house, and he started to like tell me about some of the songs that were coming out. And a lot of the producers at the time were from New York. It was a lot of like Chicago house, and a lot of it was more American house. And then I started to find out that the UK producers were getting into the house music, and then they built a scene in the UK, but there was nowhere for them to play it. So on a Saturday night, you couldn't get a house night in the West End on a Saturday night. So what they started to do is like go over to South London and have like parties at 3-4 o'clock on a Sunday morning. So from Sunday to Monday, they would have these parties in South London, like in small little pubs. And that's what the scene started to build its own UK garage house scene. And then I started getting into it from about 97, 98. So from there, I started to produce more music, and that's how I got in. And that's what kind of like solidified my name as Masterstepz in that garage scene.
In the garage scene, yeah? So basically the garage scene was when you landed, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I'll definitely say that.
Yeah, and tell us about some of the tracks that you had put out at the time, because I can remember I was somewhere at a club somewhere, and as you quite rightly said, back in the days you had like say the main room and the chill out room, and I heard this particular garage track, which I said, man, this tune's wicked. Not realising it was you. That you had produced it. So you know, like everything about you, I'm so proud, because you're like my little brother. You know, well, you are I'm not like my little brother. You are my little brother. You know, and to see you, you know, where you started, what you've done, where you've been. I mean, there's so much, you know, not taking away the fact that when you know, when you was touring and stuff like that, and there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about you touring, when you was in Dubai, you know, you had to go to Dubai, you was in Dubai for a couple of years, and there's so much things I want to say, but one thing I love about you, no matter if you're no matter where you went, no matter what you was doing, you've always remained humble. You don't have this ego like some people have, that you know, that they've reached to the top of their achievements, and then they disassociate themselves with people who, you know, that has family. You know? Yes. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. That's all I've got to say. But continue, please.
I think the song that you your to be honest, right, Stamina, I can't even recall the song that you're referring to, which one, because I've made quite a lot of songs in my time. I've done a lot of remixes for a lot of record labels. But I think one of the most popular records that I did was Melody, which was a sample from Busta Rhymes' Dangerous. And I think that may be the song you're referring to.
Yeah, that is the track. That is the track.
That is the track I made that in 1998. And that's like, when I say that 1998, it just sounds like so long ago, but
it's a classic.
The crazy
it's still being played now.
It still gets played now, and it's actually being sampled. Like it's been sampled recently by a guy called Silverstone, who's a Nigerian African artist, who heard the song and said that's one of his favorite garage songs of all time. So he wanted to put his African Afro beats feel on the track, and he done a phenomenal job on that. Like, and then when I heard it, and then I went back in the studio with him, and then we kind of rearranged it, and I told him like, put this in, take that out, put that in, whatever. And then we've done a 2020 version of Melody, which is now called Feeling Your Melody, which is absolutely amazing. So a song that was like over 20 years old, that is still getting played today and still getting sampled today. And when you play that out, Stamina, like you get the biggest forward. I think that's one of the songs that I've ever got the biggest response when I play that out. The biggest forward, that tune, I think that is the song that I've played that's got the biggest forward that I've ever played.
Yeah.
And which is my own record.
Yeah.
So I am proud that I've made that record, because you know what, it was when I made it, I never ever thought it was going to be as big as it was.
Yeah.
And I remember recording it in Rampage Studio, and me and Treble T was in the studio, and I said to him, look, I've got this idea that that I want to put together. It's a garage song, but I want to take the Busta Rhymes beat and sample that and speed it up. And he's like, okay. And I remember, God rest his soul in peace, Dr. Psycho from Rampage and the other guys in Rampage. They were all laughing at me when I was making the beat. They were laughing because they didn't get it.
Yeah.
They never understood it.
Yeah.
So we was like, all right, whatever. But when we did it, I was producing the track. I was making the beats. I was sampling the snare drum and the kit. We put it all together, and then I was struggling with a bass. I couldn't get this bass, and me and Treble T was there playing around with the bass, trying to get a bass sound in there. And then Treble T came with the bass sound. That's back in the days where you never had no MP3. You couldn't just burn it on a USB. You had to go cutting house. We went to Music House. Rest in peace, Leon from Music House. He passed away.
Yeah, he passed away recently.
Yeah. So went to Music House, and I said, look, I need to cut this tune. But I was nervous because I really didn't know how the tune would sound out in the club, because it was so different. It was so different from what everyone else was doing.
Yeah.
Like the beats were different from normal house music. And I was thinking, is this gonna work? And I remember giving it to a DJ and took it to a club called SW1 in Victoria at the time. And it was a Saturday night. It was a big house and garage night. Ram. And I gave it to this DJ, and I said, look, I asked him if he can play it. And he said, all right then. And he played it. And he got the biggest forward. This is the time where you wouldn't have to wait for videos to get to hear a good song. If you put a song on, you know, back in the days, like no one's ever heard of a song, but if you play, you say, boy, I'm having a new tune. Nobody's never played this before, this new tune, and you put it on.
Yeah.
And if it sounds good, people are gonna dance to it. And that's exactly what it was. That the drums kicked in, and then when that bass line come in,
yeah,
I saw the whole crowd in SW1 just go mad. And then I just see one of the guys who was gonna put the record out at the time just look at me to say, right, okay. So from that, that record became a household garage anthem. And then a lot of other producers caught on to that style of production, the way the beats were played.
Yeah.
And if you listen to a lot of kind of songs now, like one of the songs that Stormzy's done, if you listen to the drum pattern of the production, it's taken from Melody. Maybe they don't even realize, you know. So
no, I think they do realize. They,
you know what I mean?
They do realize. No, don't worry about that. People always watch what you do, and take what you've done, and kind of mask it for themselves and eat off your food. That's always been the way.
Because that was a change of how drum patterns were working in garage. Because everyone was doing the 4/4 and then the 2-step.
Yeah.
I came with like changing up the drum pattern, changing up the style of how the drums worked.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a massive massive part of my career, Melody. You know, even now I'm not even bored of that record.
No, I'm telling you, it's a classic, you know. And that's what, when I first heard it, I said, this tune is wicked, you know. And as I said, you know, I didn't realise it was you. I'm so proud of you. So Steps.
Thank you, man. Yes.
No, thank you, because you know, you are who you are. You know, everyone's got their own fingerprint. However, I'd like to ask you about, you know, all these clubs. I call you king of clubs because you've played in so many different clubs up and down the country, around the world. Can you tell us a bit about that, please, Masterstepz?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if we start from, you know, London, the London scene, because back in the days there was a lot of clubs. There was a whole heap of clubs, man. That, and like I think we were sport for choice back then. Like I remember, because like if we start from the garage, and we talk about the pinnacle of my career. If we talk about the garage, I would say I was DJing like 6 nights a week, easily. So on a Monday, I would do a club. On a Tuesday, I would play at Ministry of Sound. On a Wednesday, I would mostly go to Crawley or Gatwick or somewhere up them sides, or Brighton, or I can go over somewhere to Kent. On a Thursday, you do like a London club, like Leisure Lounge, which would be in Holborn. And then on Friday, you'll have 3 back-to-backs. So I would do London, drive up to Birmingham, quickly come back down and do Milton Keynes. And then on a Saturday, ram up again. 3 clubs. You leave your house at 9 o'clock. You get to the first booking at 10 o'clock. So you do a 10 to 11 in London. And then you drive to Birmingham and you do a 1 to 2. And then you come back. Or you might go the other way, because instead of coming back to London, you might go more up north and you might go and do a Manchester.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the club scene was really, really, really big. And then we go to Europe now. So in the summertime, you have all the Europe bookings. You go to Ibiza, you go to Ayia, you go to Zante, you go to I can't remember. You go to Greece, you go to Athens. There were so many places in Europe that was like the garage scene started to get so big. People were making like chart hitting songs now. Record labels were getting involved. They were signing a lot of the acts. The acts were getting into the top 10. Some of them were even getting to number 1, like Pied Piper, The Master Ceremony, So Solid, Miss Dynamite, Mystique, MJ Cole, Todd Edwards. There were so many producers. Wookie, myself, DJ Luck, MC Nee, Artful Dodger. The scene was getting so big. Everybody was yamming their food. And then we started going all over Europe. And like to the point where we was having residency DJ bookings in Ayia Napa. Cause I was going to Ayia Napa. Like I would go 3 times a week. I would fly out there on a Monday, play on Monday night, come back Tuesday, play in London on Tuesday night, go back on Wednesday to Ayia Napa, play Ayia Napa on Wednesday, stay there till Friday, come back to London to do a gig in London or Birmingham or Leicester on a Saturday, and then go again. I was doing that for like throughout the summer. The summer in Ayia Napa, like around what year was it? 89 to 2000 was just crazy.
Yeah, I remember. Like you was never in the country, and I used to just see you on all these different flyers. And your flyers. One thing about your flyers, it's top-notch flyers. That's one thing I have to say. Like your flyers, just a flyer. alone is top notch. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud. I can't even get the words out. Normally, each and every Saturday, I do the talking.
Right.
But you know, like to me, you're my superstar. You know, you're my superstar, and you know, like to see you grow from a little baby into a teenager, into young adolescence, into manhood, and holding your own, and still being able to stay humble, and you don't have no bad mind or no viciousness or anything like that. You're just special. To me, you are special. You're one of a kind. So tell us about your clubs, because I call you the king of clubs, and tell us about some of the clubs that you have played in, and you've played for so many celebrities, football celebrities as well. Tell us about them. Tell us about that, because it's all about Masterstepz. So for you guys listening in, I am having a technical difficulty at the minute, but Stamina speaks to Masterstepz on the Who Knows show this morning on the Mighty Deja Vu. And for those of you who are trying to stay with us on the live line, please bear with us. We'll try to sort it out. So, Cuz, tell us about your journey, please.
So some of the clubs that I played in, these were like really big, huge clubs. Like, so we would go and play in some of the big Luminar clubs, and this was a massive company that had like all the clubs around the country. So they would have Time and Envy, Liquid clubs, and these clubs would hold like about 2,000 people. And this was a regular basis that we would DJ at some of these clubs. I was a resident at Ministry of Sound for 5 years on a Friday night, and it was one of the best, biggest club nights in London. It was called Smooth, and I really have to like give thanks to say that, you know, I was a resident at Ministry of Sound, because so many DJs would, not even just to be a resident, but just to get in there and play in Ministry of Sound. So many DJs would like wanted to do that. And, you know, some didn't get the chance, some did get the chance, but the ones that did get the chance, respect to them. But, you know, to be a resident in Ministry of Sound for 5 years was a blessing. It was like, we're talking about one of the best clubs in Europe. It's known to be one of the, even in the world, like, you know, Ministry of Sound gets nominated for the top 100 clubs in the world, and it's always in there. And you know, the sound system, the equipment, what they have, the sound engineer, they talk about the box, because the main room is called the box, because it doesn't even have a bar in it. So if you want to get a drink, you have to go outside. It's all about the music. It's all about the sound system. It's all about you know, what the DJs are bringing to Ministry of Sound. So that was like amazing and a great achievement to actually be a resident DJ in Ministry of Sound on a Friday night. That was great, man. So also played in another big club, which is called Fabric, which is kind of like on the same scale as Ministry of Sound. I did that quite a few times on a bank holiday weekend, and which is also got a great sound system and is also known for, you know, being one of the best clubs in the world. Fabric is in it's in Farringdon.
Yeah.
So that is an amazing club. Yeah. Back in the days, I used to play in Camden Palace.
Yeah.
Which was another great club to play in.
Yeah.
Like, because like it was kind of, I'm not sure if you've been in Camden Palace.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So you know how it's like a theatre, and then the DJ booth is at the bottom, and then you look up, and it's got like a tier 1, tier 2.
Yeah.
Like
tier 3.
And you could, when I used to play in there, and I said like play my tunes and just just watch the people them dancing to your music. And then sometimes I used to be so overwhelmed by, wow, they're actually dancing to my music, you know. And I'm coming from being a bedroom DJ, and I used to have a poster because like on my wall, so my decks were facing the wall, and I used to have a massive poster of a crowd of people. And I always used to think in my head, one day I'm going to play to this amount of people.
Yeah.
And I always used to like bring that into the universe.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Yeah.
So now playing in Camden Palace, you know, was so huge. And I used to play in there like quite regular, so because they used to have a lot of big garage events in there.
Yeah.
So I'll play in there at least twice a month, 3 times a month.
So you've played in Camden Palace.
Mm-hmm.
You've played in Fabric.
Yes.
You've played was a resident in Ministry of Sound. Now you're talking all these clubs you've mentioned. All these clubs you have mentioned, they're not little clubs. They're not your ordinary run-of-the-mill clubs. These clubs are, you would have to say, the top-notch clubs in London. Which, if they are the top-notch clubs in London, then you know you're a top DJ, because I remember, that's why I call you the king of clubs. Because I know about DJing, as you know. I know who's DJ or what, who. I know all the levels. You know, I know all of that. So when I hear people talk what they're saying, I just laugh, because I know the levels. Because there's levels to this game. And what made me so proud of you was when you was on Choice and you called me up and you said, "Cuz, I want to interview you on Choice. I'll go to my grave with that, because you didn't have to do it."
No, listen.
You didn't have to do it.
No, I had to do it because it's all part. I had to do it. It was all part of the journey. It's all part of where I've come from. So I had to do it. It was something that I've wanted to mostly do from when I was a young kid. You know what I mean? And me not even realizing that, like saying that I wanted to be like you. Like I was inspired by you. When I was young, if you ask my brother Paul, was like, "Oh, you always wanted to be like Cousin Kid, you always wanted to be like Funky C." I'm like, yeah, because he's someone that I look up to. So yes, it was all part of the journey to get you on the radio. So for the people who didn't know you, like you're saying, the people don't know who I am. So for the people that don't know you, it's about educating that generation or the people that don't know you, to let people know who you are, what you've done for the music industry, what you've brought to that scene. So
you're getting me emotional, cuz, man. You know, and Paul, you know, is you know, we all come from how do you say it? We were how do you say, born in a musical home, because your uncle Sil was a selector. Your uncle Lloydie was a selector. Did you know? So, and we always had music around us. So for those of you who don't know, before the name Stamina, I was named Funky C, because when you're saying Funky C, they might not know who's Funky C. But when you interviewed me on Choice, I was so proud of you. Not because you interviewed me on Choice. And I'll always say, all these top DJs, and I know them, the Spoonies, you know, I know all of them. You have always remained humble, in a sense that you've always been Ian Thompson. Masterstepz is Masterstepz. Ian Thompson is Ian Thompson. And you've always separated and maintained that humbleness. And this is why I give you more and more and more praises, because some of the DJs, and you know who I'm talking about, when they have achieved what they have achieved, they sort of want to disassociate themselves from the brothers and the sisters. And I don't think, you know, that is a good thing to do, because the same people that put you up there, it's the same people you're going to see should anything be otherwise. So, yeah. So, sound systems. What was your influence? How did the sound system industry influence you as a DJ?
Well, it all started from the sound system. Like I said, going back to So Big Sound, you know, that is the pinnacle for black people that came from the Caribbean and, you know, who came over to the UK in the 50s and 60s. You know, we brought our culture with us into the UK. Remember, we as black people, we could not go into a nightclub in the West End. We couldn't have a party in a nightclub in the West End. We couldn't even have a party in our local community. So this is how, and I always say this to young kids, this is how blues parties came about. This is how house parties came about, because we had nowhere to hold a party apart from in our own house. So this is where the house parties originated from. So we used to put our sound system in the one little bedroom and the main sound system with the amplifier and the turntables in the living room. And then that culture started to get bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the years of watching sound system. So I had a little sound system when I was young. It was nothing big because I never really had no money to buy a speaker box and amplifier and anything. I just about had enough money to buy my little records.
Yeah, at the time, because
you know what I mean?
those times you couldn't download anything for free. No. You had to go out to certain record shops and purchase your tunes. And those days the competition was rife, because I didn't want to be seen in the same record shop as you, buying the same tune from the same record shop. So everyone had their own little niche in the market, and that created the style.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't realize that to be a DJ is not just about buying a laptop and downloading music for free.
No.
There's levels to this thing. So yeah, let's continue with your influences. So obviously my dad was a big influence, a big sound for those who don't know. A DJ which is on the station, Naboth, his name is DJ Nibsy, Funk in a Friday. He says, yes, Masterstepz. Yeah, so he's hailing you up. Yeah,
big up.
Hail up Nibsy as well, and
yes,
morning to Sasha. Sasha says morning as well. Sasha 1. Okay, so yeah, we're back on track. So your influences, Master.
Yes, so Biggs is obviously the main influence for me from a young boy from playing sound system. Now, obviously we've grown up, we've got a little bit older. Like I said, I couldn't really afford to buy no speaker box, so we had a little crew in the area of Poplar and Bow where I grew up. David Diamond was another guy who's older than me, who helped me to DJ on two turntables. And I want to say this, Funky C. I want to say this, right? That the first time I ever saw two turntables and a mixer was from you. And I remember we went to, when your mother, if people don't know that Stamina's mother is a massive person that was in the industry, music industry, that was putting on big events. You know, like we would go to like doing an excursion in Blackpool.
Yes. And
that was
Great Yarmouth.
Great Yarmouth.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
South Wales. Yeah, Margate. Yeah.
And you know what?
That was my mum. Yeah, that was my mum.
That was your mum as a promoter.
Yeah, my mum was a promoter. Do you remember when she booked Rodigan?
David Rodigan. Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember that? We were little kids. And she had 16 coaches packed.
I remember that.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
See,
16 coaches.
These are the things I will never, ever forget. And this is all part of, I need to do this. I need to be a DJ. It's the first time I've ever seen David Ronigan. Like, I always used to hear him on the radio. I didn't even know what he looked like. And then I heard he was a white DJ playing reggae music, but I never knew what he looked like. And I remember he came down and done the dance. He just come on and just mash up the place.
Yeah, he did.
But I think that was that weekend. I think that was the first time, because you was very, very much into stringing up the sound at that time as well.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was that time, that was the first time I saw 2 Technics turntables.
You know, can I tell you a little story about that? Me and Dad fell out over that. Yeah, we fell out because I was saying, Dad, look, things. I've got a saying, many have sight, few have vision, and I've grown like this. You know how I stay anyway. You know. I've always had vision. So I said, Dad, this one turntable thing with your back to the people can't work.
Right.
Because you remember those days, East London Stadium, you was living in Poplar them time there. We used to play Jashaka on a Sunday in East London Stadium, which is not too far from the Deja Vu headquarters, but a lot of them in Deja Vu don't know this. Do you know what I mean? And I said, Dad, this one turntable with your back towards the people can't work for me. I want to observe the people. I need to see if I'm making the people move. This is why I've got a style. Every time I go on people party, and people, I learned that at an early age. This is why I'm saying there's levels to this thing. People just want to be DJs. Do you know what I mean? But because we were born in it, we have our own creativeness.
Yes.
So I said, Dad, we cannot be playing with this one turntable, because remember those days, it was one turntable, so you had to flip the 7 inches very quick. So there's no gap. There's no gaps. Right? So I said, Dad, we cannot continue playing with a one turntable with your back to the people. And he wasn't having it. So I said, I'm going to start my own sound. So he goes, well, 2 men can't live in one house. so that was the birth of Love Unlimited, the soul sound. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I'm bringing back your memories now. I don't forget nothing. I don't forget nothing.
Love Unlimited.
Love Unlimited. We was mashing up the place because Funky Express.
Was DJ Noise in it?
Noise was in it. Yeah, Noise. Yeah, Noise. There was a couple of us, but Noise was the MC. And we used to play at Carnival and stuff like that. And I'm sure the Rampages and all that weren't born them days.
No,
the only person that was around that time was Funky Express, Mikey Benno. And I can tell you this now, and it's the first I'm going to say it, because we can talk like this, cuz. All of the dances Funky Express played on, I was the person getting the venues. So I was getting venues, from obviously Dad, my mum, and it just continued that way. But Funky Express, which is Dream Team, the Spoonies, and the Timo. There was 3 of them, innit?
Timmy Magic and Mikey B.
Timmy Magic, Mikey B.
Mikey B, because Mikey B's like an old reggae. Wasn't he in one of those? Was he in Funkadelic?
Funky Express, that's what I'm saying to you. He was Funky Express.
Mikey B,
Mikey B from Funky Express. So I could tell you the history about Spoonie and Timmy and Mikey B. You know I can tell you the history. Because I was before them. you know? Without even being funny, do you know what I mean?
It's so crazy. Because me and Spoonie was talking about this the other day. And I said to him, I mentioned your name, and he was like, what? He's like, yeah. Then he goes, yeah, those guys were from like Art Trade. I said, yes. Those guys were the first people that most probably bought soul sound system, because everyone, like back then, everyone was still like on the reggae sound system, right? Like everyone was still doing that.
Absolutely.
And you bought, that's what I'm saying, Love Unlimited sound. And I remember, this is what made me like say, because like Uncle Biggs was an older man, like, so it was good to see the sound system, but you was a younger DJ and a younger man that was bringing sound system culture but changing it into soul.
Absolutely.
And that's why I said to myself, no, I need to be like my cousin, I need to be like my cousin, I need to be like Stamina, I need to be like Funky C, because you changed the reggae sound system and you brought the soul.
I bought the soul. And I really didn't get, not say recognize or recognition, because I don't look cool. That's not what we know. That's not what we do. We just do the work. Do you know what I mean? And people, there's a lot of people that, you know, today they talk about soul sounds and all that. And when they talk, if you listen to how they talk, you'd think that I didn't exist. and do you know what I mean? And I'm sure you've got a lot of them around you as well. But you know, that's just the way it goes. So locked on family, Stamina Speaks to Masterstepz on the Who Knows show this morning on the Mighty Deja Vu. You can join us in the chat room if you'd like to ask Masterstepz any questions. Please let us know. Put your comments in the chat room as well. I want to say shouts going out to the DJs and the sound system men, young and old, because we have Masterstepz here, and to me, he's been my how do you say, my superstar. You know, he is my superstar, not has been. He is my superstar. I call him the king of clubs. Obviously, he's a producer. He had to study to get to where he is now. So he's not the wannabe or the fake or the egotistical DJ producer. He's the real deal, and I'm so honored to have him on the Who Knows show this morning. Steps. Right, so this place here, this place here, where was this? Tell us about this place here. As you can see, where was that? Can you remember?
This is in this is another proud moment of me being in this venue. This is in Ibiza, and it's a venue called Ushuaia. Now, this is one of the biggest clubs in Ibiza, and there is a lot of big clubs in Ibiza, but this one. It's a venue that all the DJs coming from some of the biggest house DJs to the smallest pop DJ would want to play at, and they've had so many big DJs like David Guetta, Calvin Harris, down to Camel Fat, to Martinez Brothers, to Sean Paul doing performances there, to Wiz Khalifa, to gigs. The amount of people that have passed through this venue is been amazing. But to actually get a DJ booking at this venue it's one of those ones that, like, yes, mum, I did it, I made it.
So what's the capacity this venue can hold? Do you know?
I think it's 6,000 people.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is, right, Stamina, it's got a pool in the middle, because this is an outdoor venue. So basically it's a hotel. So people stay in the hotels around the side. So you've got all so imagine like a big massive square, and in the middle you've got a pool, and around the sides you've got the dance floor and the VIP, and you've got a huge stage with a massive production, with a crazy sound system. So if you can look on the left and the right to me, if you can see those monitors, that's just the DJ monitors. Right? I wear special earplugs, for that, because I cannot, like no human can actually take that sound.
The sound that is given out.
It's so loud.
Why did they put it facing, like, you're in the middle and you've got the monitors like side and side? Why did they do that, do you think?
It's because so the DJ can hear what's going on. So if they put it like behind you or in front of you, I think that the way that the speakers are designed, if you can see the way it's curled, so it's curled, so you get that perfect sound, so you're not getting any delays from the sound system outside from the dance floor.
Right. So sorry to cut you. So this was in Ibiza, yeah?
This was 2 years ago.
2 years ago in Ibiza.
Yeah, not last year, not last year, the year before.
Okay.
This was
right. Okay. And it's funny because I'm not sure that you can see that I've been doing my little homework, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I know.
and I've actually put this as Masterstepz in Ibiza pick. Imagine that.
Right.
Ibiza, not Ibiza, Ibiza. Right.
Some people pronounce it
Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Yeah.
Some people pronounce. I think a lot of Americans say Ibiza.
Okay. And tell us about some of the big clubs that you. I know you mentioned it earlier that you played in Ibiza, but tell us about some of the big clubs that you've played in Dubai. Because I remember one time you were saying, "Cuz, just come over, just come over." You was begging me to come over to Dubai.
Yes.
And I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't come at the time. I'll still do my little Jamaica runs, and you know me, yeah.
And it's not too late, Stamina. It's not too late. We can still go out there because I still have a monthly resident in Dubai, so I go to Dubai every month. So
you're still playing Dubai?
Yeah. All
Wow.
the time. Every month. I've built up such a repertoire out there, and I've made so much friends. There's a lot of people that came from the UK that went and lived in Dubai. Some of them were club owners. Some of them were like club promoters or managers, and they've gone over to Dubai and taken their experiences to Dubai, and they're out there doing their thing. So so I still go out there once a month. But the clubs in Dubai are absolutely amazing. They're out of this world, and it's so crazy because every month there's a new club in Dubai. Every month there's a new club. One get closed down because that club now work no more, so they're open up a next one, and that club's at a lick. But yeah, the Dubai. So some of the big clubs I played in Dubai, one of them is called Base, and that holds about 1,500 people, and it's like a pop-up club. Like when you get pop-up shops, like where in Shoreditch they have these pop-up shops just for like 3 or 4 days. They got this club in Dubai called Base, and it's like in the middle of the desert, and it's like they've just made it up, and they just put up this sideboards, and they put up this like temporary stairs and stage. It's crazy. And
so you're saying this club in Dubai is like a pop-up shop, like they just pop up this club. It's in the desert.
Yes.
And it holds 1,500 people.
Yes.
And you play to 1,500 people.
Yes.
When you're in Dubai.
Yeah, in that club.
Wow.
And there might be a smaller club that because there's another club that I play, and it's owned by the same people, which is called One Oak, which is where I do my resident. So that's much smaller, but the quality of the club, if you see the lights, if you see as you walk in, the lights on the wall and the design of the club, it's crazy. Sometimes I look and I'm like, wow, if they had like half of these clubs in London, like you'd be like, your experience of partying would be so different.
Yeah, because I remember you just saying to me, "Cuz, you got to come out here, man. Just book your ticket. I'll pick you up at the airport. You got to come check me out here, man." Because you was playing in some clubs, and you was playing in quite a few clubs. Because even my sister Yvonne, like, she said she's going to Dubai, and I said, "Yeah." I said, "Just go and check Steps," because Steps. She goes, "What? Ian's out there?" I said, "Yeah, he's out there." I said, just go and check Steps, man. From you see Steps, you're all right. So when she come back and she said, "Bruv, the way you looked after her, right? I'm not a jealous guy, right? Right? And Yvonne, as you know, is my little sister. I love her to death,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, how can I be so stupid, right? Yvonne's going to Dubai, yeah? I'm not with her, and I'm telling her to go and see you, and you've been saying to me to come to Dubai. So, Carl, tell us about your adventures in Dubai, because I know it's not just one club. You've just mentioned one club.
No, yeah,
you've played one club in so many clubs in Dubai. Tell us about the How do they appreciate your style of music? Because your style of music is house, right?
When we say my style of music, I started becoming popular from house and garage music.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I was always a person that played an open format music. I was always good at playing music. So I was good at playing dancehall. I was good at playing drum and bass. I was good at playing R&B, hip hop. I was good at playing everything. But I think it was the house and garage that made me into that popular person, which got me onto Choice FM. But we'll get back to that soon. So I was always that DJ that played everything. So I was known of being that open format DJ. So when I went to Dubai, the first time I did go to Dubai was in 2006. I just went for a holiday. And a friend said, DJ Skins said to me, "Oh, you need to go and link up with this DJ in Dubai. He's like the local DJ. He's like the Trevor Nelson of Dubai." So I went out there, went to a few clubs. When I was out there, Shorty Blitz was playing in a small club. But when I went out to Dubai, there was only like about 6 clubs. One of them was called The Apartments. The other one was called Trilogy. There was another club which was a little bit further out of Dubai. It wasn't in the main part. It was like called, which was more the ghetto side of Dubai. That was called, I can't remember the name of the club. Oh, there was another club called Chi, which was like a little bit further out. But there was just 4 or 5 clubs in Dubai. So when I went on a holiday and I met DJ Blitz, Shorty Blitz was DJing out there. And I went to the club and I met a few of the local DJs out there. And this guy was like, "Oh, this is Masterstepz from Choice FM. Yeah, he's a big DJ in the UK, blah, blah, blah. You need to get him in Dubai. So I came back to Dubai that same year in 2006, and I actually DJ'd in Trilogy. Now, this club Trilogy was one of the biggest clubs in Dubai at the time. Holds about 1,200 people. So I went there like 6 months after my holiday, played in Dubai, but I brought a different experience to Dubai because in Dubai at the time, they were like a bit behind with music. They didn't really know what the new songs were. They were kind of like about a year behind. So they were playing a lot of old tunes. So when I went out there, I was playing a lot of fresh music. And I was a bit nervous because I didn't know if I should go on the mic and talk a lot or if I should be a bit more reserved and hold back and just play music and just kind of like talk in between 5 or 6 songs. So that's how I kind of like played it out then. When I actually moved to Dubai, I moved to Dubai because I was always going to Dubai previous to that. So from 2006 to 2011, I would go to Dubai about 3 or 4 times a year and DJ in Dubai. But I was still reserved on how I would play. I would just hold the mic here and there. When I moved to Dubai in 2012, I had a few friends that were promoters out there. So there was much more British people and a lot more Australians and a lot more, well, you say there was a lot of expats out in Dubai. So from when I was there in 2006, there was only a few British people out there. So when I went there in 2011, the country started becoming more westernized. There's a lot of Brits out there. So I just got myself a radio show because that was one of the main reasons why I moved to Dubai, because when I left Choice FM in London, I still wanted to do radio.
What year was it that you left Choice?
I left in 2010.
2010, and then you moved to Dubai straight after that, and then obviously
not straight after. I was still doing some club nights and production in London. Still doing guest shows on like Kisstery on Kiss, and One Extra. I was doing guest mixes here and there. I was even still doing guest mixes on Choice at the time. And then I went to Dubai in 2000. I moved to Dubai in 2012.
2012. Right. So
Yeah, that's
2 years after, because the reason why I said that was because you disappeared. It's just like, where's Masterstepz on Choice? Like, you disappeared. I think Daddy Ernie's and all of them started to drop off during that time as well.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I wanted to like highlight this.
Yes, please.
I left Choice.
Yes, I know. I know.
There was a lot of people the majority of the DJs were getting, let go. They were getting.
That's what I'm saying. They were dropping off. They was dropping off one by one.
They were letting one by one, and like I seen it, I was like, let me just change my career and try and do something else.
Yeah.
My initial plans was to go to Miami and New York and do the music out there, because I was signed to Violator Management in New York, which was owned by Chris Lighty, who passed away in I can't remember what year Chris Lighty passed away. I think it was in 2012.
Who's Chris? Who's this Chris?
Chris Lighty. Chris Lighty owned a management company in New York, who managed P Diddy, 50 Cent, Mariah Carey, Soulja Boy, Tribe Called Quest, Busta Rhymes. He was their management company.
And you've met all these people that you've named, haven't you?
I've met
a few of them.
I have.
Yeah, I know.
All the ones that I mentioned, yes, I've met.
You've met them, and you've played at parties and stuff. Because the thing with you, what I like about you, you ain't got no ego. You don't boast. You're just so humble. Do you know what I mean? And I think that comes from mum. Your mum. She's just so humble. She's always been humble, and you've played at so many different places for so many different celebrities, and we're going to touch on that as well, because I know you've played at some footballers dues as well.
Parties.
So continue, please, because you were saying.
So I'll go back to the Dubai thing, like we were talking about Dubai. So when I went to Dubai in 2012, I seen a lot of like bricks that were out there at the time. What I wanted to do now, because now I'm living out there, I wanted to bring my style into Dubai.
Yeah.
Now my style, sometimes when I'm on the mic, I'm very hyperactive. I'm a hype person. Yeah. I like to get the party going. I like to Masterstepz is here, party start.
Yeah.
That was my style of playing when I would play hip hop, R&B, and dancehall. That was my thing, right? Party start.
Yeah.
And that was all from the sound system thing. So when I came to Dubai and I got my first resident, I said, right, give me the microphone. I went on the mic. I started saying, right, Masterstepz, so the promoter said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. We don't do that in Dubai. I'm like, bro, if you want Masterstepz in this club, or you want me to bring my experiences, you have to let me be me. And because no one was really going on the mic in Dubai. And it was like, oh yes, new one. Oh, big shout. And that was it. I come in like, yo, big up all the people, my people at the back. You ready? Everyone's celebrating birthday, put your hands in the air. Everybody started jumping. So I started getting that. And then the Brits started coming. Oh, Masterstepz is living here. Masterstepz has got a resident down at Amica nightclub. Masterstepz is at Mavida. Masterstepz is playing at the beach at Nasimi. Masterstepz is doing a big party now with Kistery in Atlantis Beach on the Palm.
So proud of you, cuz, man.
Right.
So proud of you.
So I started doing this party now. My friend who's a Brit, who was living out there like years before me, he said to me, Steps, I've got an idea. I want to put you on my new night that I'm doing on the Palm at a place called what's the place called again? It's on the Palm and it's at Atlantis Hotel. And he asked me, he's like, look, do you want to be the resident on a Friday? So I said, all right then, cool. When I say, cuz, the first night when he put the flyer up, Masterstepz UK playing hip hop, R&B, UK garage, boom, boom, boom. First night on a Friday night. we brought out the whole of England that night. And on top of that, all the locals came, all the Emiratis was coming, because like the Emiratis was taking in the Western culture. You know what I mean? They start drink, them start party, you know what I mean? Where it's a Muslim country, but some of the Emiratis, you know what I mean?
Is that what you call them? Emiratis?
That's what they are. They're the Emiratis.
Oh, from the Emirates, yeah? Emiratis.
So,
I get it now.
All the locals were coming out. They were embracing the whole UK sound, because a lot of the Emiratis would study in the UK as well. So or study in America, but a lot of them would go to England.
Yeah.
So they might go to a couple of clubs in England, and then when they come back, they weren't really going to their local Emirati clubs. They were coming to the Western, the Westernized clubs.
Yeah.
They were coming to listen to Masterstepz.
Masterstepz, yeah, because you made your name out there. You definitely made your name out there.
And they were loving it. So this is when the clubs now started selling table and bottle service. So people say, right, I want a table right next to the DJ booth, right next to Masterstepz. I want that big table, and that would be the biggest table. And then, cause when I say I'll play a song, the Emiratis would come and just dash some money now. They were giving me bottles of champagne, because some of them would drink. The younger ones were drinking, but the ones that had money, majority of them, they weren't drinking alcohol. They would just buy drink and buy alcohol, put it on the table, and give it to a couple of the mans them, or give it to girls that, take a bottle of Dom P.
Wow.
And then I changed that whole sound and how people would DJ in Dubai. So where before they weren't really allowing people to have mics, or they don't want people to go on mic. Now they've got hosts.
Yeah.
Now they've got MCs.
Yeah.
that have to be on the microphone.
Yeah.
And that was because I was partly one of the people that.
Well, you brought the game. Yeah, you brought the game to them. You brought the game to them, because as I say, there's a lot of DJs out there, and sometimes I just have to laugh. Some of them some of them, no one really knows them, but their ego is so bigger than even yourself. And I'm thinking, they ain't done what you've done. Do you know what I mean? They haven't done what I've done. And I'm not just saying it because you know what I've done. So you brought the game and changed the game in Dubai, and you've made your name in Dubai. Also, tell us about the radio station that you was on out there in Dubai.
In Dubai. So my initial reason of going to Dubai, because like I said, I wanted to go to New York and Miami, but it was hard to get the green card, and I was like, I can't bother with all this, man. I went to Dubai to do a gig before I moved out there, and I went for a couple of days, because normally when I got there, but the first time I went was for holidays, so it was just holiday stuff that I was doing, like tourist stuff. The next time I went out there, like I said, when I did a gig, I thought, let me stay out there for a couple of days, because I've never really done Dubai like that. I've always just gone to the club, stay in a hotel, DJ, left the next morning. So this time, Stamina, I stayed there for a few days, and I had a friend that took me around, and I was like, I didn't know Dubai was like this. This was nice. I didn't know this was here in Dubai. So I thought, wow, this is kind of cool. And then I started to meet more English people, British. When I started to realize there's quite a few British people out there, I thought, you know what? Maybe I can come out here and do something. And I started to find out about the radio station. So there was a main radio station called Radio 1, and there was another one called Deja Vu, and there's one called Channel 4.
What? In Dubai, a station called Deja Vu?
Not Deja Vu.
I'm thinking what?
Sorry, because I'm thinking about Radio 1.
Radio 1, yeah.
Radio 1, Virgin, and Channel 4.
Right, okay.
They were the three main stations that would play music for the Western culture.
So did that have anything to do with Richard Branson? The Virgin, or was it just
I don't think it was anything to do with Richard Branson, but obviously the company name, I think they just bought the name.
Right,
so
okay.
They franchised the name.
Okay.
In Dubai. which was, I think, which is the main radio station out there now. It's the most popular one,
Right.
which is Virgin.
Okay.
But Radio 1 was very, very popular when I went out there.
Right. So which one was you on? Radio 1 or Virgin?
I was on Radio 1.
Radio 1. Okay. Right.
And the program controller at the time, he came from KISS from London. So I got his details through LinkedIn, sent him an email, just saying, look, Masterstepz, blah, 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 from Choice FM. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know you are. Oh, so you're living in Dubai? And he's like, yeah, okay, then let's work something out. Let's see if we can get you some shows. So he got me some cover shows. And I went out there, and my partner, Naomi, who I also met in Dubai, we're still together now. She was living out there. She was working out there. You know, she's from Wales and Birmingham. And when I went out there to do the radio show, I was really, really excited. And I wasn't living out there, but he called me. He goes, Masterstepz, do you think you could do a show next Friday? I was like, okay, cool. I'll fly out there and do a show because I wanted to prove myself.
Yeah.
So I went out there and I covered the show. I was so excited to be back on the radio because I used to love doing the radio on Choice FM in the UK.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to do the radio, and I felt that they allowed me to be more me. Not to say that when I was on Choice FM I wasn't allowed to be more me, but towards the end of being on Choice FM, when new owners came in, the station changed dramatically. So I wasn't being myself. I wasn't being the specialist DJ that I was known to be.
Yeah.
I started being playlisted, and and so I wasn't being myself. So
Yeah. That's why you left. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why you left, because you saw the
yeah.
changes and all of that.
I saw the changes.
Yeah, and you think, nah, I see the ship sinking.
Yeah,
I'm bailing out. I'm not sinking with the ship.
No.
Yeah.
So
I know that feeling.
I saw the changes. And
Trust me when I tell you.
It wasn't no bad vibes between me and Choice. It was just like, I wanted to go
Time
down
is
a different
time,
path.
man. There's a lifespan for everything.
I just wanted to go down a different path where I see that they wasn't going at the time.
Yeah.
So when I went to Dubai, I got that radio show, and then he said, would you like to do a weekday radio show? Like in the afternoon? I was like, yes, of course. So I was up there, even though the music was playlisted, but I enjoyed being a presenter again. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the music was cool. It sounded a bit like KISS and Choice at the time, but in Dubai.
Lovely.
Yeah. So
Wicked.
I was doing a weekday show in the afternoon, so I was doing 1 till 4, and I really, really enjoyed it. I met some cool presenters out there. I met like an Australian presenter. He was from Australia. So he would come on and do the drive time after me. And then I met a girl who was I think she was from South Africa.
So you got an Australian, South African, and a London DJ within those time slots there. Proper. I love that. I love that. That is
within
proper.
the mid-morning show,
Yes.
the afternoon show, and the drive time.
That is proper.
That's what I'm saying. I met so many different people from different cultures, different parts of life. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And living in London, I absolutely would never have met people like that was from Australia. Maybe I would have, but not like I was meeting them on a regular basis, because like I said, there was a lot of people from Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, London, America, all in one country.
Lovely.
All in one city.
Lovely. Yeah.
Like
lovely.
Interacting with each other, learning each other's cultures.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And I will never ever regret going to Dubai and living out there, man. I think that was one part of my career that I can really say that shaped me into who I am now.
Well, yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I just want to send shouts going out to the silent listeners. I do apologise for the technical difficulties. Do not ask me how or why. I don't want to go into it. I just can't understand why I'm getting such a bad ride this morning on the technicals. So Stamina speaks to Masterstepz about club nightlife, music, DJ, sound systems this morning on Who Knows Show. And time is just, I don't know, it's just flown by, because the time now is 10:24. So,
already.
And we haven't even really, touched up a nerve sort of thing, like, right? Because, I'd like to, I mean, you as, you play all different genres of music, but people would mostly know you for your music, which you produced, and house music, yeah? But you can change.
No, I think when I came on Choice FM, because I started on Choice because they were just a station in South London. They just had the one frequency, and then they got granted a new license to cover North London because it was a popular radio station, and then they got the 107.1, which was the North London license seminar. So now they're looking for more DJs. So DJ Spoonie was the one who really pushed me to get on Choice. I didn't want to do it at the time. I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm not really interested. Because I was out DJing in the clubs. I was like playing out all the time, doing the club thing. So there's like, well, we want to start a garage show on Choice North London. So I went to Spoon's house, I'd done a demo, went on it. They gave me the show. And I said, okay, then let me just do it. Let me do it. So garage, I was doing a garage show for about 2 years.
Sorry to interject. Was Spoonie on Choice?
No.
Right, because that's what hey, there's your son. Hey, bless him. Yeah. Because I don't remember Spoonie being on Choice. So what? So Spoonie was the one that sort of pushed you to go on Choice.
Yeah, because Spoonie was on Radio 1 at the time.
Yes.
So he was saying to me, look, man, like this is an opportunity for you to get on the radio, to be on the FM, to be on legal radio. Yeah. If you don't like it, then you can always say, all right, then just
good on Spoonie. Good on Spoonie, because that's professional advice and guidance.
Yeah,
and he's like, cool, and he's cool like that.
So he had a studio in his house well, he's still got the studio. He's got a studio in his house where he's got the microphone set up and like a professional radio station. So he's like, look, why don't you come to the house and do the demo, and I'll show you how to do your links, how to when to talk, when not to talk, how long to talk for. So I did that, got the show, ended up doing the Choice FM Garage show for about 2 years. But I knew that I just didn't want to play garage. I wanted to play music. I'm a music man. I love music. So that's what I wanted to do. So I was focusing on being a presenter and being a music person, not just pigeonhole myself as garage. So as time went along, I kind of like wormed my way, not even wormed my way in. I would say my professionalism got me into playing hip hop and R&B, because how I was presenting the show, I was very, my character was quite witty. It was funny. I think I would make people enjoy the show. I had younger audience, I had an older audience, I had a middle age. I think I had all different age groups.
You had all different age groups, just like the outings back in the day, in the early part of your journey, when you used to go on outings and it was a family affair. You had a family orientated audience, because I remember those days when you was on Choice. You wasn't playing garage, you was playing hip hop.
I was playing hip hop. I was playing everything. And that's why I said to myself, watch, I'm gonna come in. There was a lot of DJs on Choice. Boy, the jealousy with some of those DJs, man. I was like, boy,
tell me about it. It's just, that's another thing. This is why I'm saying with you, I'm so proud of you, because you're not cut from that cloth. Do you know what I mean? You're not cut from that cloth.
I wasn't bothered. They could have hated a little more. Like, because I came from being a DJ, a big DJ already, right? And I came onto the station by being a popular DJ. I think some of them were like, because I used to have nice cars. I worked my way up of buying nice cars. I didn't just when I made money. The first thing I did was buy a nice car. No, that wasn't. I made sure that I built myself up to have nice cars. And I bought a car because I liked it, because I wanted to. But some of the DJs said, what are you driving that car for? Like, listen, I'm not watching what you're doing, so I don't really care. But I became more popular. I made myself to become the popular person, popular DJ. Because as much as like DJs were on the radio, I was on the streets as well, cuz.
Yeah, of course.
So I was putting on dances now. So going to like, I would use Choice FM to my advantage. I would use it to see what I can get out of the radio station. What can I do? How can I bring myself forward to becoming that popular person? So I would be on the streets as well and make my name popular on the streets as a producer. And then I started saying, you know what? I know how to promote. Let me put on some dances. So Ashley Cole, Jermaine Pennant, Anthony Gardner, who was there? Zach Knight, Jerome Thomas, all these footballers. I knew Ashley because Ashley lived in Bow. Ashley's a few years younger than me. But I know Ashley because we all live in Bow. We all used to like play football, and you know, him and his little brother used to just hang in an estate called Moorville Estate. We used to kick up 2 ball and everything. But he was playing for, I think it was, I can't remember what football team he was at, but he was at Charlton or one of them clubs. And he was really, really good at football. And then he became Ashley Cole, the footballer. But I always knew him, but I didn't see him for a little while. And then when I went to a rave, I see him. So we linked up again and we became friends again. And then I started putting on events, and he used to phone me and say, yeah, what parties are going on this weekend? I say, right, I've got a party in the West End. And he used to come in and he used to bring all the other footballers. Next thing you know, I'm doing parties for footballers. A footballer would say, yeah, I've got my birthday, can you play at my party? Play at his party. Next thing I know, I'm doing Darren Byfield's party. Next thing I know, I'm doing Darren Byfield's wedding with Jamelia. Then I started to make myself really popular as a celebrity DJ. And then I did David Beckham's sister's birthday.
Did you?
Yeah, I did her birthday.
Wow.
So I became that celebrity football DJ, and so I'm putting on events in the West End.
Yep.
On top of that, I was doing footballers' birthday parties, and then I started to end up doing their weddings. So around that time, I made myself the popular DJ on Choice FM and on the streets and in that celebrity world. Lovely. Then I started doing like Girls Aloud's birthday party. I did like about three of the girls from Girls Aloud. I did Cheryl's birthday party, I did Kimberly's birthday party, and I think I did Nicole's birthday party, all in separate times. And then I did, who else is? Then I did Anthony Gardner's wedding, who played for Tottenham at the time. I did Jermaine G. I was doing so much celebrity parties.
I remember. I said, wow, you know, like, cuz you're smashing it, man. You're dang. Do you know? Yeah.
And then I was charging some big money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, don't tell us, yeah? Because we don't want them to get even more jealous, you know what I mean?
I was charging. Yeah. But you know what? Like I said, the humbleness is just like, I was just like linking up with the right people and just making sure that, you know, I was doing good and just entertaining people.
Yes.
And that's all it was. It's just like, right, entertaining people, making sure I bring the right music.
Yeah.
Bring, you know, because I always had a second DJ with me, because You know, sometimes I might want to walk around and talk to people and greet the people. So I'll have a warm up DJ that will warm up for me.
Yeah.
And then when I come in, I do the main set.
Yeah, of course. And liven up as you said, when Masterstepz is on the mic, the party start.
Yeah.
So
and that's what it was.
Yeah. So obviously, as a celebrity DJ, you've told us about all those major clubs in Ibiza, the major clubs in London, the major clubs, also a pop-up club in Dubai, also the radio station that you was on in Dubai, 1 to 4 in the afternoons.
Yes.
You also do trips to Jamaica. Now, when I hear that you're playing in Jamaica, you don't even know what that does for me, and I'm going to tell you now. I'm so proud of you. Because for a London DJ to play in Jamaica, you've made it. Because I've always said, if you make it in Jamaica, you make it around the world. But it's quite the reverse from you, because you're coming from London to Europe, and then to the east, as we'll call it. Do you understand? You also played in Jamaica, not once or twice, but on a regular time. So could you tell us about the times that you've done these big events in Jamaica?
Okay, so let me start from the beginning with Jamaica, because I always wanted to go to Jamaica when I was young, and my mum never really had the money to send, because Jamaica's expensive.
Yeah.
So my older brother Paul went to Jamaica when he was young, so he got to experience Jamaica at a young age.
Yeah.
I didn't. The only thing I got to experience is when my mum or my family or auntie come back and bring sugar cane and everything there, and and all the bits and pieces from Jamaica, and make you eat certain foods.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But the good thing is that I had a good Jamaican family background, culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Auntie Burlett. Auntie Burlett was like the pinnacle of Jamaica. And I'm like, I remember Shireen going to Jamaica when she was young. I really wanted to go, and Shireen used to go to Jamaica all the time when she was young. I was like, I want to go to Jamaica. Anyway, I went to Jamaica at a later age in my life.
She's listening, Good
morning, Shireen.
She's listening. Also, Everton in Ultra is listening as well.
Yes.
So the family's here. Frey Hall, I'm sure all the family that you know as family and I know as family, they're all listening. So carry on, continue. Yeah. Just say morning to the family once again for me.
Morning, family. Good morning, everyone listening.
Yes. So Jamaica now. Tell us about Jamaica.
So like just seeing like my family going to Jamaica at a young age, I never got to experience that. So later on in life, I went to Jamaica when I was about a little bit older. Like, so when Masterstepz is here, so Masterstepz is born now. I still didn't go to Jamaica. First time I went to Jamaica, right? It's sad to say, but the first time I went was in 2001. That was the first time I went. And from that day, I never stopped going. I never stopped going to Jamaica. I think the next year I went to Jamaica 4 times. I was just going to Jamaica. I was saying, right, I'm just gonna go to Jamaica because I loved it so much. I loved the culture, and I went there with good people. I went there with a friend called Caddy, who's from West London, and he bussed me in Jamaica. And we was going to dances like this. This is the time where Fire Links was firing out there. Fire Links and Tony Matterall and Stone Love. So we was going to the kind of the ghetto dances. Like we went to a place called Little Corpa, which is kind of on the way back to the airport from Kingston, and it was an outdoor venue. And we used to go there, and we used to go a couple of parties, and then we went to a club called Quad Club, which is in New Kingston, which is around the corner from Asylum. You remember Asylum, cuz?
Yeah, of course.
You remember Asylum?
Of course.
Asylum was on one corner where you got the Digicel, and then you got the Jamaican food shop on the corner. I think is it Juicy Patties? One of them shop there, but it's in New Kingston, and then Quad Club was just round the corner, and then they had a strip club next to Quad Club, and we went in Club. So Quad Club was more like the uptown club where all like the uptown Jamaican people will go. So we went in there a couple of times, and I met these two DJs that were the residents at the time. So DJ Boyd and DJ DJ Boyd is it Alvin? Oh my God, he's gonna kill me if I forget his name.
He'll come back to you.
Oh, Alwick and Boyd. These were the resident DJs that were on. That were the DJs at Quad Club in New Kingston. They were also on the radio in Jamaica. So they had a big show. They used to do mix shows, and I think he was one of the only Jamaicans that know how to scratch and cut and everything. So they used to play a lot of hip hop and R&B as well. So they were very, very popular uptown DJs. So I met them, and then I told them, I said, yo, Caddy said, what, you want me to introduce you to them? So he introduced me to them. He said, yo, you know Jamaica people stay already. Yo, Alwick Boyd, I might look a DJ from London, Masterstepz from Trice FM, big DJ, Ministry of Sound, resident, boom, boom, boom. So they got gas from that. They were like, yeah, London, yeah, man, bring me, introduce me, give me a number. So we became friends, and I said, listen, I would like to play at this club because it suits what music I play. Hip hop, R&B, dancehall. I can do all of that. So I said, yeah, man, when you want to come and play, let me know. So I was coming to Jamaica like the next 3 months later. So I told them I was coming, and when I say they done this big, massive promotion on Masterstepz, and then they had a DJ from New York called Max Glazer, who also plays dancehall music. And then they had a DJ from Germany. So what they did, they had a 10th anniversary of Quad Club and DJ Alwick and Boyd. And then they said, boy, we've got Masterstepz from England, we've got this DJ from Germany, and we've got Max Glazer from New York, and then you've got Alwick and Boyd from Jamaica, all in one. So when I went out there, I said, right, I was nervous because it's the first time I'm going to play. So when I went out there, I said, right. I just took it like a duck to water. It was normal. It was natural. So that was the first time I played with them. Then I played with them again. And then the club kind of started dying down. So the next time I played out there was a new club now called Privilege. Now, these guys from South London owned the club, and then they worked with a couple of promoters in Jamaica, the promoters at the time were called Uber, and the event were called Uber Events, and they were like one of the biggest promoters in Jamaica doing all the uptown parties. So I met this guy called PP. Now, PP is one of the most influential promoters in Jamaica. Now, this is the same guy who puts on Dreams Weekend. Yeah,
Dream Weekend, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm glad you touched on the point. And I want to say we're going to have to wrap up with this Jamaica thing, because I want to ask you another question, and we have just under 20 minutes to go. So, yeah. So
I met PP. Yeah. I met PP in 2014, and me and PP just connected like that. So this club called Privilege was doing like a refurb now, and they said it's kind of same thing as like what they did at Quad. We've got DJ Masterstepz, but I was living in Dubai at the time. So they were getting gassed that they had a British DJ that lived in Dubai coming to Jamaica. So I did all the TV interviews on RETV. I did IRFM interviews. So me and PP were going around the island doing tours like promotion.
Yeah. Promotion, of course.
So he was boosting up and saying, boy, we have a special guest all the way from Dubai. He's a British DJ, but he's living in Dubai right now with Jamaican descent background. But he's here on the island. His name is Masterstepz. He's one of the biggest DJs. So that really was boosting me up like to the Jamaican
public
audience, to the Jamaican audience again. So people may have heard of me before from playing in Jamaica previously, but this now was really boosting me up because I was playing with Chromatic in Jamaica, and I was playing with DJ Nico. I was playing with Jazzy T. Me and Jazzy T was on the lineup from Renaissance. So I was playing with some big hitters. The top guys in Jamaica.
The top selectors.
So I had to be on my A game, but
Yeah.
they wanted me to bring my UK Dubai style to Jamaica.
Yeah.
So I had to work my brain and say, right, this is how I have to play it now.
Yeah, that's how they want it. We may think we have to join them to play double. No, they want the London style. They've always wanted the London style. Because if you think you're going to go and start playing dub plates like them, forget it, because that's all they got. It's dub plates. See what I mean? Right? That's all they got. So they want the UK's. But anyway, Masterstepz, time has flown by. We have 15 minutes left to go.
Yes.
And I want to ask you about this man here. This man here.
Wow.
Yeah. What was it like when you interviewed the one and only Jay-Z? Tell us how it felt for you as a DJ to interview Jay-Z.
Do you know what? I've interviewed so many artists at the time. When I was on Choice FM, I was getting I was the main person to do all the interviews.
Yeah, I remember. I'm just so proud of you. This is a big moment for me, even talking to you now, here live on the Uno show. So, this is a big moment for me. So tell us.
I did Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, Ciara, Akon, Kelly Rowland. I interviewed so many people. I can't even remember. There were so many. But when it was like, okay, Masterstepz, tonight or Friday, you're interviewing Jay-Z. So whoa, Jay-Z, because Jay-Z is a phenomenal artist. And at the time, he had his album, The Blueprint. I think it's Blueprint 3. So this is when he had, remember that record, New York, with Alicia Keys?
Yeah.
So this was like, he was firing at the time. Jay-Z, stamina, I ain't gonna lie. When it was time to like interview him now, I started getting nervous because that's Jay-Z. And Jay-Z hardly does interviews. So for me to get a Jay-Z interview, he wanted to be on my show. He's like, well, who's the guys that are the big
hitters?
The big hitters to be. So
Masterstepz,
man, Masterstepz is the guy right now. London, he's got London on lock. He's like, yeah, man, let's do Masterstepz show. When I went in there, I prepared for the interview. This is when, do you remember when all the artists were using auto-tune and T-Pain was using auto-tune a lot.
Yeah.
I think it kind of like was getting on Jay-Z's nerves at the time, that everyone's using auto-tune. So Jay-Z made a song called The Death of Auto-Tune. And I don't think T-Pain sat very well with it. So in New York, they have that big thing called Summer Jam, which is on Hot 97. So Jay-Z performed that record at Hot 97 and the record only got played on Friday. By the Sunday, everyone knew the words of the song. So I interviewed, the first thing I said to Jay-Z, I said, so Jay-Z, thanks for coming on Choice FM. It's a pleasure to have you on here, man. But I just want to talk about one thing is that really amazed me. I said, you did Summer Jam. The song only got played 2 days before that. And you got like 70,000 people singing your lyrics word for word. I said, Jay-Z, that's powerful. And that's how the interview started. And then we spoke for like about 40 minutes. I already said I'm only allowed to have 20. He was like, no, man, let's keep on going, man. I'm enjoying this interview.
Wow. So
it was such a powerful interview. We spoke about...
Proud of you, cuz, man. Proud of you, man. So proud of you. Because it's not only one and two artists that you've mentioned that you've interviewed. You're saying you can't remember them. But yet still, you still have kept your feet on the ground. You're grounded. You're humble, and this is what I so cherish about you. Because I'm not sure if you have been to Egypt. Have you been to Egypt?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, Egypt.
I was meant to go.
Okay, well, when you go to Egypt, you will see who you are. That's another show, yeah? That's another show. Because Stamina speaks to Masterstepz on the Who Knows show this morning on the Mighty Deja Vu. The time now is 10:49. And I do apologise for the technicals we're having this morning in the chat room, because that's where I rely on all the questions and answers. But for some reason, and you know about OBS, the OBS is shutting off, shutting on, shutting on, and it never does that to me. But this morning it's decided to do that. So
we could do it again, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much, cuz man, because you know, it's an honour and a privilege to even have you here on the show, because I know you are a very busy man, and for you to take time out to join us here on the show this morning is really and truly something of a blessing for me, because I still got the tears in my eyes. I'm still emotional. Just the same way you was nervous talking, interviewing Jay-Z. I'm nervous actually talking to you right now, which I shouldn't be. But that is the level. That is the level that you know, and the level of proudness of emotion. Because my emotion is just so full of joy, so proud of you, because I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
If I didn't know all that, then who's Masterstepz guy? Do you know what I mean? Who does he think? Do you understand? But because I know where you're coming from, and I know where you reach, or I know of, because I don't know. Without you explaining to me and the audience right now, then you know this is some how do you say some experience and knowledge that we don't know about Masterstepz. So this is a bit up close and personal. Also want to say good morning shouts going out to Shanette Hammond, locked in, locked on. Mr. Andrew Allsey, you know him as Tosh back in the day from Blige Mansions. Yeah, his name is Yush. On Cool FM, he does his thing there.
Yes, bro.
Nabat Nif Skerrit, also Chen Anna in Hong Kong, DJ Mika. Do you do jingles at all? Because no, you don't. I'll talk to you off the air.
No. I do. Like someone asked me for some jingles for a station in South London. A little young girl.
Yeah.
Wanted some jingles, and I said, "Yeah, fine."
All right, cool. All right, I'll talk to you off the air. So Master, you how long would you say you've been in the game? Just to wrap it up for those who may have missed it previously. How long would you say you've been, you know, doing your thing, music producing, DJing, touring, clubbing, the whole package?
Well, I'll say I'm gonna like kind of give away my age now, but right now I just think life is about enjoyment. So, 25 years. 25
years in the business, yeah. And do you ever feel there'll be a time when you say, "I'm going to hang up my tunes as Masterstepz"? Is there a retirement? Or age bracket where you will say enough is enough?
When I interviewed Mary J. Blige, I had the same conversation, and I said that, you know, there was a certain era of artists like Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, LL Cool J. Did I mention Busta Rhymes? That these artists were in the game for a very long time. You know, you can get an artist or producer that would just come in for 2 years and you don't hear from them again. But then someone like Mary J. Blige, who was in the industry for so long, and I said that it's people like Mary J. Blige, Jay-Z, LL Cool J have made me be in the music industry for a very long time, because it was down to me when I wanted to give up, when I want to say, you know what, I'm giving up my boots, not because this person's not relevant anymore, this person's not that guy anymore, so we don't really hear from him as much. I believe it's down to the individual person. If you believe in your craft, if you believe in your art, you can stay in the game as long as you really want to. I just enjoy entertaining people. I enjoy making people happy. So I haven't got no time. I haven't thought about giving up or hanging up the boots. Nah, not yet.
Right. So that means you'll be doing it as long as you can do it, yeah?
As long as I can.
Yeah.
As long as I want.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as I want
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
if I've got an audience of people that, you know, still listen to Masterstepz in the next 5 years because they like how I play, like if they're like 10 years younger than me, I can actually still play and do an old school party for those people.
Oh yeah, of course, because you play all over the world. I mean, is there any place that? Tell us about some of the places in a nutshell that you've played, because we have 5 minutes to go of the show, and I can't believe 2 hours has come and gone so quickly.
I've played in Miami, New York. I love playing in New York. New York was cool. Jamaica, like when I did the last Dreams weekend, that was crazy because I didn't expect it to be how it was.
How much people attend Dream Weekend? Can you tell us?
About 10,000.
10,000 strong. So what is it like as a DJ playing to 10,000 people? Tell us, because I've never had that experience.
Well, I've done that in Amsterdam, but I think when I did it in Jamaica, to go back home to your home country.
Roots, yeah, your roots.
Yeah, man.
And to then do that.
And then, because like PP promoter, I kept saying to me, Steps, just do your English accent, just be you, don't come. So I just went on the stage, I said, hey, listen, big up all my people from London, big up all my people from Birmingham, and everyone's like getting mad. And I started to talk about the English culture, and then I just dropped on Styler G, I mash up the place, and then I started playing some J Hus, and then I played a gigs dub play. And when I played that gigs dub play, I had like, there was Jamaican man, Yard man in the crowd videoing it, and then people was like, it was starting to surface, and then I heard a Yard man say, yeah man, yeah man. When I started playing the gigs dub play,
yeah, gigs.
and when I got back, I was so happy to say, boy, you know what, I'm good now. I can come to Jamaica because they want to book me for Dreams this year. I was supposed to play last year, but obviously with the COVID, it never happened.
Yeah,
I like playing in Amsterdam. I like Croatia. Is one of my best places to play.
Croatia?
What? Croatia? Whoa, because like you're not just getting Brits there, you're getting people from France, Holland, Germany. I met some guys like in the crowd because me and my missus went and I DJ'd out there and I played with Kalani. And
wow.
Yeah, I played. It was me and Kalani that was doing the show together.
Wow.
So she was the main artist and I was the main DJ.
Wow.
And, Westwood was there, West Khalifa was there, and then I did this event, and there was like about 6,000 people there, and I could not believe, because I didn't know it was gonna. Sometimes you just don't know. You get a booking and you say, all right, then you're gonna go to this event. Yeah. Even though it's a big event. Yeah. But when I got there and then I seen the crowd, I was like, whoa, it's outside as well.
Yeah.
So it's an outdoor event, and I was like, wow, man, this is amazing. Croatia is one of my greatest places.
Well, Steps, we have 3 minutes to go, and I'd like to end the show with the last question, because for those of you who don't know, Stamina doesn't script. I don't write nothing down. I just talk it naturally, week in, week out. And I've got to say, I've been sitting here for the last 2 hours with tears in my eyes, because I'm so proud of this, my brother, not this brother, my brother, right here on the screen. His name is Masterstepz. And tell us about the 2016 Music and Life Awards that you received in Dubai as the best resident DJ. Tell us about that, and then we'll wrap it up. We have 2 minutes to go.
That was one that was like unexpected. I think because I brought all my knowledge and my culture from the UK into Dubai and gave it a new kind of flavour. Gave it that Masterstepz British flavour. So yeah, that was an award that I was proud of. That was something that, you know, coming from the UK and going to another country and getting an award, that was something that was like very, very, very well achieved.
Wow. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, cuz I you know, off the screen I'm gonna have to wipe the tears away, man, because speaking to you this morning about club nightlife, DJing, music, sound system, your interviews, your tours of places that you've played all over the world has been such a pleasure. And I do apologise once again to everyone who was in the chat room about the technical difficulties. Masterstepz has been a pleasure, an honour, a blessing, and cuz, more love, stay positive as you always are, stay humble as you always are, and just like the star you are, keep shining.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And just to let you know that I don't really do interviews.
I know you don't.
I get very, very nervous when it comes to interviews. But
I know you don't.
you know, so many people asked me to do an interview, but I had to do this one. And then this is one that I really, really wanted to do. So thank you.
Cuz, I love you. Take care. And I hope to have you back soon, yeah? And thank you so much.
100%. We've got to continue this.
Yes, thank you so much. Take care.
All right.
Take care.
Take care. All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I swear, that's Masterstepz there, and I swear I can't stop the tears in my eyes no longer. Thank you for listening, each and every one. This was Stamina Who Knows show. Next week we have Star Seas 7 next week on the Who Knows show, breakfast show, morning breakfast show. Take care, guys. Steps is tripping me up now. Take care. Take care, guys. Stamina was here. Lady Zioness up next. Bye.